Welcome to Hate to Wait, where two lifelong dieters talk about their current struggles with weight loss. Diets, we've tried them all. We are not doctors. We don't play them on TV or on this podcast. Join our journey because we're all in this together.
Hello, Emily.
Hi, John. How are you?
Thursday mornings, I am always in a great mood because I get the chance to come down here because that's when we record. They come out on Mondays, but we record them the Thursday before. And if you're a member of the group, you know that because you're in here kind of watching us and stuff like that. And if you're listening to this podcast and you're not a member of the group and you don't get a chance to come in here and watch us goof before we start recording.
Oh, we goofed.
And we goof, and then the mistakes that we make and stuff like that, because it's all in the video. I clean it up for the podcast.
He does. John does a wonderful job editing. If you are into podcasting and wanting to outsource your editing, John is your guy.
You do it too.
I'm at capacity for clients. I don't want to tell people I do it because I hate saying no. So I don't tell people anymore. I'm like, I'm a podcast editor and consultant.
Consultant. Yes.
Like that's what I'm like, consultant. I will help you start your podcast so that John will be like, oh, it's such a pleasure to edit your podcast because you know what you're doing. That's my new goal. Make my editor friends happy.
There we go. All right. So anyhow, it's been a really good week for me. I went to the doctor's yesterday and the legs are not leaking anymore. I've been discharged from that. So I'm just back to wearing regular pants, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool that I don't have to put, it's freed up so much of my time.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I still have other, it's not over, but we're getting there. And so I'm starting to see a swing in my medical issues, and I'm really trying to work on that. I saw a thing today, and this is just a quick tangent. When I first started trying to do weight loss, this is way back in 2012 when I had the Let's Reverse Obesity podcast, which didn't work yet. It was like 29 episodes. There was a person that I had met. I tried to interview. She wouldn't come on. Her name was Emily, and I think she went from fat and thin, Emily. Yeah, Emily. And so I followed her on social media. She had a blog. I tried to get her to come on as a guest. Well, she has had the surgery. And I think I talked about her last episode. She's going for her skin removal surgery. And she had a long post on Instagram. And it's going to be a 16-hour surgery. And since she's lost so much weight, she's got a lot of excess skin and everything. And what she put out there, I was like, oh my God, what we've done to our bodies. So it's a 16-hour surgery. They have to remove all this skin. She's also having a double mastectomy because she has a history of breast cancer in her family. So she's going to do that, and they're going to reconstruct it too. So I can't imagine what they're going to, the amount of skin they have to take off her has got to be unbelievable. So she's going to have a lot of pain going through. She knows it's going to be this way. And she's doing it just so she can start to feel whole. And she's like, well, people say, why do you do that? Because you don't look bad. And she goes, that's because I just can't go get clothes off the rack.
Yeah.
I have to get clothes that cover I forget what she called it. She had a name for it. I'm going to say pouch or, like loose skin. But she's into yoga now, and just to see that transformation, I know that the surgery's not going to be fun for about a month and a half or whatever. But once I get on the other side of that, then, I can see where you just got to push through. Can't worry about it.
Yeah, and we see one of our group members, Michelle, who had the surgery earlier early episodes of our show, she had the surgery, and now probably more than a year later.
Yeah, I know she's lost over 100 pounds, and she might even be close to her goal weight. We keep saying we're going to have her on here. That's my
We're
fault.
so bad about guests because it's just such a wonky time to have people stop their day and come on. So we do apologize, Michelle. Michelle, please let us know when you're free if we can figure out a Thursday, maybe we do have to talk about this. We record the day after Christmas. Maybe we could do that. I don't know if that's too busy for people, but
Yeah, it's again, and then here's the other thing. Although this is a really good studio for podcasting, like I have all the good equipment and all the good stuff here. It's a man cave. It's a basement. It's a dungeon. I mean, look behind me. If you're Emily, we're on video so we can see. Like you can see that I tried to put a thing up and now it's not even big enough. I have to make a bigger panel and I don't know. It's embarrassing. Like everything in my life, it's embarrassing.
Oh my goodness. It's not embarrassing to any of us. We just see like, okay, there's a lamp, there's a curtain.
Right.
Nothing.
There's an Eagles hat on the other side.
Exactly. Nothing to worry about. We're fine.
This is why I like audio. Nobody gets to, no one gets to see it. I'm excited for all that. And one of our group members put a post in and she said she went through this. She was, I can't even talk about that. This is Winning Wednesday. I'll hold off to Winning Wednesday for that one.
Oh, okay.
You talked about it last week, finding joy in other things where you're turning up the music and singing. And I'm trying to do the same thing. I'm trying to find pleasure in other things besides food. And it's working. I mean, there's some things I'm doing. I want to start playing poker again, although sometimes that's more aggravating but it's still something I really like to do. And I've been walking more, trying to walk more. And when I say walk more, this sounds stupid. For everybody else that puts in thousands of steps, my walk more is to park my truck further away from the house and come in.
Oh, that's smart.
Right. Or park somewhere and then go into the store. The issue is it's a slow progress and I'm just trying to work at it that way. So it's not, I think I have the eating under control, as far as the binge eating and stuff like that. Although last night, I think I did a little, I'd explain that last night. It was almost like I woke up at like 3:00 in the morning and I had nothing in the house and I was hungry and I couldn't get back to sleep and I'm laying there tossing and turning. I said, that's it, I'm eating. So I jumped in. There's a Wendy's right down the street. So I went down, I got a chili.
Oh.
And I ate chili and I came back and went to bed and out like a slumbering bear. I'm sitting there tossing and turning. I tried water. I tried listening, to the meditation. Nothing. I was just tossing and turning. My stomach was growling. This is ridiculous. I know if I just go eat something. I said, okay, what can I eat that's quick? It's going to be so it was like 3:00 in the morning and boom, I had some chili, right to bed, like a little bear.
Like a bear.
That was basically it for me. And honestly, that was basically my week.
It's kind of been a nice, slow week. We're like not quite at the holiday rush yet. We're still like, it's the beginning of December. I have so much time.
13 days.
I know.
Less than 2 weeks.
I know. The only reason I know that is because on the video side, John actually put up a banner for our live that says 13 days to Christmas. It's our own little advent calendar.
Yes, it
Instead
is.
of chocolate, you get to hear us.
And we have our little mascot in here, our logo.
Our logo, yeah.
We don't have a name. We need to we need to name it. We should have a contest.
Yeah. He's definitely a hater.
He's not a very happy guy.
No, and we're talking about when you're looking at the cover art for our podcast, this little scale guy that I made with a frowny mouth looking up at the logo saying hate to wait. And John put a little Christmas hat on him on our video. And yeah, if you haven't gotten a chance to see us live in our Facebook group, we would love to have you. Come on in, come join us. We really enjoy our group a lot. I like it. I love the memes. The memes have gotten better, you guys. I gotta say, like, they crack me up.
Meme game is on point.
Yeah, it is.
It's easy to do. hate2wait.com/Facebook.
Absolutely. Come on by.
Everything's more exciting on your side than me.
Oh, I always think it's like on your side is more exciting. I feel like I have the dilemmas going on. So
the what?
The dilemmas. They're Emily dilemmas. Dilemmas.
Dilemmas.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. I came up with that when I was like 11 and I've never gotten to use it until now. So I'm very happy about it. I've always thought in my head, oh, this is such a dilemma. And I'm like, man, it sucks having an inside joke with yourself. That's the problem with being an only child. You have inside jokes with yourself.
Wow, a dilemma. I love that.
Yeah. So normally I have those, but this week, oh, my son just screams and jumps and climbs and he is at the point of basically being a stunt double. He does this frog jump off the couch. And the first time I saw it, I was like, what is this? By frog jump, I mean like all fours. He jumps up into the air, off onto the ground. He lands and he cracks himself up. And it's the scariest thing in the world, but he wants to do it. And because it's so cold out, he's not outside as much. So it's like our house is just...
Again, I think the kids got to learn. Kids got to learn,
Yeah.
when they jump off of things and stuff like that, they bang their head and they're like, I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they just have to learn. You can tell them not to, but I mean, my parents used to tell me all the time, don't do that. Don't do that. You're going to hurt yourself. Next thing I come home, wah!
I do
What'd
have to
tell
say,
you?
so I got on the scale Monday and I was the same weight I was Thursday. And it was right around the time where we started seeing posts in our group talking about IF and how, like, the first week, sometimes it works for people the first week. And then in the next week, sometimes it doesn't work. And for some people, they gain weight. And that kind of like had me doubting IF. Because I remember that, but I barely remember that. Because for me, it was like, oh, I don't care if it doesn't work. It made me lose 8 pounds the first week. And then it was like, oh, I'll do this for a month. Oh, now we're starting a podcast. Okay, I'll try it a little longer. So I had that sort of accountability every week of just like, okay, you have a podcast now. You got to talk about it. You got to be doing something. If you want to stick with IF, that's fine. But that was what was in my head. And so Monday when I was the same weight, I was kind of at the point of just like, okay, you know what? Maybe I'm in a maintaining stage. Maybe my body is too cold. Maybe this is just what my body does in the winter. It makes me want to eat heavier foods, which it does. It makes me want to eat warmer foods, and the warm foods aren't like fresh carrots or any sort of cold salad type of thing. Actually, I did get a comment about our last episode. Carolyn from the podcast Wellness While Walking, she was very impressed with the analogy you made that soup is just a salad in the winter. She liked that a lot.
Look at that.
Yeah, her podcast is coming up, by the way, January 1st, Wellness While Walking. So if you want a podcast to listen to while you're walking, she's making episodes that are 30 minutes. The first 5 minutes is a warm-up. She gives a little beep. And then for 15 minutes, she talks about the subject, about walking. She has another beep to let you know to turn around. The next, I'm sorry, not seconds, but minutes. And the next 15 minutes is... you get that beep to turn around. The next 15 minutes, she talks more. She has a beep about 5 minutes before the end to let you know this is the cool down stage. And it's such a great idea. So I'm excited for that podcast.
That is an amazing idea.
Yeah.
That is an amazing idea.
Yep. She's great.
I love the beeps.
I know.
I love
Just
the
little
idea
beeps.
where it says beeps and you go, okay, well, I'm going to turn around now. It's time to go back.
Yeah.
See, 800,000 podcasts are out now. And someone comes up with a great idea like that. They're still out there.
Oh, yeah.
That is amazing. I'm definitely going to subscribe to that.
Yeah.
How about that? Oh, that's the other thing. As it gets colder, I want to eat more calories.
Oh, yeah.
And I started putting them in my fitness pal, and I was like, whoa. I'm like 40 calories over, and I get to eat a lot of calories. I'm trying to stay around 1,800. I was way over. And I think like last night, the other thing is with intermittent fasting, I'm trying to move my window in a little further because I'm trying to get down to these. I'm trying to get down 30 something pounds so I can get the surgery. And so I figured, okay, so I was trying to just eat one meal a day, and it's a good meal, but it's just one meal a day. And I think that's what happened at like 3:00 in the morning. I woke up and it was like, you got to eat something here. I mean, I know I don't have to. I know I could have sat there and tried to toss and turn, but it's like an hour. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, at least let's make a good choice. And I figured chili was the best choice at 3:00 in the morning when there's no food in this. Well, I could have got up and made eggs. But, I mean, I woke up this morning. I thought it was Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
I'm sitting around. I'm like, oh, we got to hate the weight today. I got to get downstairs. I got to, so I'm thinking to myself, dilly-dallying around. Because Wednesday's kind of my light day. I really don't get down here till like 12-ish and start doing some stuff. And then I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, I get the show today. So days are kind of off, but it really hasn't even been that cold yet. Like the other day was 60 here. And, I talked to Sam, who's up in Saskatchewan, and it's like negative 40 something degrees Celsius.
And they are used to it.
How do you get used to that?
I don't know.
How does that happen? I would stick my hand outside and go, nope. If it was negative 41 degrees around here Celsius in this area, nobody would go anywhere.
No.
We'd all be hunkered home.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had to go to work, you'd go and you come right home. But, they go out to the malls, they go out to the stores, they go do their own thing.
Oh, yeah,
negative
they're
41
used to
degrees. Get out of here.
That's interesting with the middle of the night eating if you're trying one meal a day. So one thing with intermittent fasting that I found out green tea, which I've been drinking a lot lately, helps. It helps suppress the hunger hormone, which is ghrelin. I want to say it's pronounced. It's like GHRELIN, and that's the hunger hormone. That's the hormone that gets released that when you hear the hunger pangs, that's it, where you just can't focus on anything else. And intermittent fasting actually helps suppress that ghrelin hormone after a while, but you have to get used. But it's one of those things, you have to get used to it after a while. When you're doing intermittent fasting and you have those 6 or 8 hours, or for you 2 or 3 with that one meal a day where you're eating, after a while, that ghrelin that you feel when you're fasting, that's going to kind of subside and go down a bit. And actually, I did find that green tea really does help the hunger, because that was another thing, is stopping my window. Usually I will stop it with brushing my teeth. But when I eat later, when I open my window later, I have no problem keeping that window open and being like, oh, well, I didn't eat until 1 today, so my window's open till 7. Yeah, let's keep going.
I do the same thing. But so you said you were talking about green tea.
Mm-hmm.
So I went out and I had bought a small box of green tea bags. And, so I made some, I can't drink it. It really, really makes me so jittery.
Oh,
races my heart. Yeah, I cannot drink it. I tried it because I thought to myself, if green tea is not bad, if I can make like green tea and drink it and then, have it as like an ice, like a tea, like an iced tea or cold, then I would do that. And I had like 1 cup of it. And then the rest of the day, my heart was racing. I was all jittery.
But you have coffee.
I don't know what it is.
Wow.
I don't know why it affects me that way. And I can drink coffee. I'll drink a pot of coffee, and it doesn't do to me it does not do to me what green tea does. I don't know what it is about that affects me like that.
That is interesting, because green tea, when you look at the caffeine, I looked at the breakdown last week after we talked about it. So coffee has something like 100 milligrams of caffeine, and green tea has 25 to 40 milligrams. Like, it is a fraction of it. They actually have like a level of a caffeinator level on the Bigelow green tea thing of just like, okay, here's water with 0 caffeine. Decaf has a little bit, and then the next step is the green tea, and then the last step is like coffee. So that's so interesting.
It must be something in the tea leaf itself that I'm not that affects me. I don't want to say I'm allergic to it, but it affects me differently. Medication affects me differently. If someone gives me medication that says it's going to make you drowsy, there's a lot of times that it makes me like I can't sleep.
Yeah.
And then if they give me something to say, oh, this might, keep you up, I'll go right out. So I don't know. Maybe that's for some reason that's swapped on me. I don't get it. But and I can drink regular black tea. I don't have a problem with it. It doesn't.
Wow.
Yeah, it'll keep me up. The caffeine in black tea will keep me up, but I won't have that jittery, heart racing palpitations thing. Which at my age, you don't like heart palpitations. They're scary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very scary.
Yeah, I was actually the other day looking at a list of processed foods, and it was coming from a site that was talking about heart and stroke health. And I'm looking at the foods, and I look at my husband, and I'm like, this is your diet. If you have a heart attack or a stroke, you can't have any of your foods. Like, you will be screwed so much. And I'm like, we got to get you healthy. We can't have it. So like this happens and then we stop eating it. We got to.
He's in his 30s, right?
Yeah. He just turned 35.
Yeah. He needs to start turning stuff around.
He had a little bit of a midlife crisis. Oh my gosh. It was so cute.
Are you allowed to share? He doesn't listen, does he?
No, God, of course not. No, he just kind of had one of those days of coming out and he's like, I'm halfway dead. I'm like, no, you're not. Meanwhile, I'm like 36. I'm a year and a half older than him. And I want to be like, yeah, I went through the same thing. Like,
yeah, but 35,
it sucks.
think about that. 35, that's halfway.
Yeah.
70.
Yeah.
A
Well,
lot of
that's a
guys
new
don't make it
box
to
that you're
70.
checking off when people are asking for your age. We're no longer in the 25 to 34 age range. We are in the 35 to 44 age range. And it was like, for me, seeing that, I was just like, okay, another number. Oh, I have wrinkles and zits and gray hair. Well, that's interesting. So,
Sesame Street just turned 50.
oh yeah, we actually watched that. We
All right,
watched
so
the
Sesame
special.
Street's 50, and there's a cartoon, and it's two people sitting there, and Oscar's like freaking out, and they go, "What's wrong with him?" He says, "Oh, he just got his AARP card."
Did you know? Okay, so side note, you can be an AARP member no matter what your age is.
Yeah, of course,
Yeah.
because I understand that,
Oh,
but they start sending you stuff at 50.
Yeah.
AARP kills more trees than any other company in the world. I've never received so much mail
Oh my God.
as they send you everything: life insurance, car insurance, this, that, the other thing. God, they send you so much stuff. I don't want any of it. I open up the trash. AARP, trash. AARP, trash. AARP, trash. It's crazy. That's the thing. Right now, he's 35. This is the time to start making changes.
Yeah.
Tell him, say, John used to eat like that when he was your age. Look at him and look what he's going through. You don't want to do that. And I was as active as he was at his age.
The other thing is, I think because of my intermittent fasting, he's definitely in a little bit of intermittent fasting as far as I think he is on like a 10-14 plan unintentionally, but just because none of us eat breakfast at this point. And he kind of waits for me to do my thing with work until he eats lunch. He's normally not a snacker in the morning. So he's actually intermittent fasting. He's not necessarily losing weight, but also he hasn't gained much in the past few years. So that's a good thing, at least.
That's also, it is a good thing. But, they always say you cannot out-exercise the fork.
No.
You can't.
No.
As much as you want to try.
Yeah. Well, another thing that I noticed I was doing this week, I was really kind of weird about IF. I was just like, wow, the scale is not moving. People are saying that it's not working for them. It's kind of like being like, oh my gosh, was I fooling myself this whole time? And so yesterday I started focusing on, okay, I did not start intermittent fasting for the weight loss. I really didn't. I started it because I read Faster Than Normal by Peter Shankman, which I talk about all the time on the show because it was such a great book for anybody with ADD or ADHD. And he talked about using intermittent fasting to improve your focus, because if you're not focused on food, which I am because I'm a little obsessive when it comes to food, and I always have been. And if I have 16 hours, 18 hours a day where I'm not focused on, oh my God, what am I going to eat? And then giving myself a lot of guilt. That was another thing that I was using a lot of excess energy for, is like, okay, I should eat because it's breakfast time. What should I eat? Oh my gosh, I don't have anything healthy. Oh, I just have oatmeal. I don't want oatmeal. That's the worst. I'll just get a Danish. It's fine. I deserve a Danish. That's any better. And so with intermittent fasting, I didn't have to think about those things because I wasn't a big breakfast person. I hate making decisions. I'm so happy to just have 6 hours where it's like, okay, now I can make all the food decisions and then stop making those decisions at the end of the day. And it's so nice. So I started focusing on those, the focus, the ADHD, the light feeling of intermittent fasting. I like going to bed hungry. It took a while. I didn't used to like it. But now if I go to bed and I've eaten later, closer to when I've gone to bed, and I have that kind of heavy feeling, I don't like falling asleep like that. I like going to bed like, oh, my stomach is so empty. So nice.
So I went to bed hungry last night and I couldn't handle it. And I went and got my chili. And once I was all full and I was like, I curled up and just out I went. Within 5 minutes,
Like
I
a
went
bear.
out. Like a little, yeah. So it is weird how, again, there's some times where it doesn't bother me. But I think, here's the thing. I don't think I had enough calories yesterday. I think my calorie intake yesterday was like 1,100 calories. And I think by 3 o'clock in the morning, my stomach woke up and said, hey, is your throat closed? I mean, did somebody do something up there? Because, we need a little bit more down here. I don't know. Maybe I could have, I don't know. I just didn't feel like tossing and turning all night.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, I couldn't get to sleep and I just didn't feel like doing it. And I went out into the kitchen and, I had to make stuff. And again, I didn't have anything that was really ready to eat. So I got to get back into doing more stuff like that.
See, for me, the cold is a great deterrent for me not going out and getting fast food. I will say that I was able to lose a lot more weight in the winter when I was in my 20s because I did not want to go out in the cold to get anything. I was like, I will just sit here and smell the wrappers of the food I've already eaten from and make chewing noises.
So chewing noise. So that is true because last night it was cold here and I had to put on sweatpants and I had to put on a hoodie and socks and shoes. It's not like I just jump in the truck in my bare feet and go down there. And so I'm sitting there and as I'm thinking to myself, is this really worth it? And I'm like, yeah, let's just go get this done. It won't be long and then you can go back and go right to bed. I keep saying I got to learn how to make chili because that's nothing. I love chili in the wintertime. Mm-hmm. And there would be nothing like I would just went out there, scooped out a little bit of chili, had that, went right back to bed.
Oh, I will say this. So speaking of chili, we made chili this week and my husband loves Texas Roadhouse chili. So I bought all the ingredients for chili. I bought the beans. I bought the meat. I knew we had the spices. I wasn't worried. And I was like, okay, well, I'll find a copycat recipe of the Texas Roadhouse chili. And we'll make that. How hard could it be? The Texas Roadhouse copycat chili recipe has like a whole just spices and things I've never used or heard of. It's something like 23 ingredients in this chili. And I was like, why did they make chili so difficult? Why would they do this? Oh, it was nuts. So we just made simple chili in a pot. I didn't even use the crock pot or anything because we only had an hour to really make it. So I didn't do the long drawn out thing, but it was fine.
It was okay?
Yeah, it was good. We didn't, we used the chili powder and the regular spices in it, some paprika. I always put more paprika than a recipe calls for because I'm Hungarian. So I feel like that's like a little nod to that. But
what's the other stuff that they put in? It's supposed to be cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper. You got to be careful with that.
Oh, we do.
I thought
pinches.
they were this. I mistook the cayenne pepper for the paprika.
Paprika. Ooh.
Paprika. Yeah. Let me tell you, that'll pucker you up.
There were cookies with my daughter when I was pregnant with her, and they were called labor cookies. And they were basically ginger snaps, but with cayenne pepper. And they were supposed to put you into labor because it was one of those hot foods that is supposed to put you into labor. It didn't. I got Braxton Hicks whenever I would eat them because I made them a few times because she was like 2 weeks late. I made them once when my son was a little late just because I like the cookies. And I normally don't like cayenne pepper, but there's something about them that, oh my God, this is so hot. I need milk. I also want to eat more of these, but they're weirdly good cookies.
Like a good hot chili.
Yeah.
It's like it's hot, but it's spicy and it's hard to eat sometimes, but I keep going back for more.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find the recipe. I'll put all the recipe to the chili I made, the copycat Texas Roadhouse chili, the labor cookies. I'll put all those recipe links in the show notes, so make sure you check that out. You can either see those on the app you're listening to, either by swiping left or right, or pressing that little button in Google Podcasts that has an I on it, and that I stands for information. I didn't know that for a long time. I was like, where are the show notes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? Again, I think they should, going back to being a podcast listener, I think they should make it where it's unified. Like, in other words, the gas is always on the right and the brake is always on the left. We should have like show notes buttons that say show notes or something like that. Everything should be unified for every app. If I was president, we would do that. President of podcasting. Can I run for president of podcasting?
If the URL isn't taken.
I mean, you need me as president for podcasting. I would make podcasting better. All right. Why don't we get into some Winning Wednesdays? Yeah,
before we do that, I just wanted to give some shout outs in the chat room. We have Jennifer. She says they have caffeine-free green tea, so that might be something to try. Also, if I'm going through like 3 or 4 cups of green tea a day, so if you keep that tea box around, John, next time I'm down there, I'll just grab that from you. That'll be a week for me, is that giant box of green tea.
Okay. And then the bone broth.
Yeah, Jennifer mentions bone broth as well, and sugar-free popsicles.
Sugar-free popsicles would have been okay, but I just didn't want cold.
It's cold.
I wanted warm. Yeah.
Yep. We have Annette. She says, one of my favorite mantras has always been fail to prepare, prepare to fail. And you can apply it to most things in life. I find that prep is key with IF and keto way of eating. It works for me. Yeah, absolutely. The prep is so important. I feel like that's one of the hardest things to get used to with any diet.
And then who put because it just says to me on this side,
Erica.
Facebook.
Erica put the chili is so easy, and she put a whole recipe in here. So we'll read it out here. Brown the meat in the Instant Pot.
Instant Pot. I know how to do that.
Yep. Dump in the canned chili beans, canned stewed tomatoes, chili
flavored. Okay. Tomato sauce and a pack of chili season. All right. Set the pot to soup and go. Done. All right. I'll try it.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I made the chili in on the stove. I didn't do the canned chili beans. I didn't know that they had beans specifically for chili. I always grab the same can of pinto beans and kidney beans and
All right. And also, before we get into Winning Wednesdays, because we started doing this before we recorded, and our phone number is 760-946-6464. And we always say call in a Winning Wednesday. But then again, why don't we have it where we have a segment where people are calling when they're frustrated? Mm-hmm. Like, when you just when you're frustrated about something, like, oh my God, I'm trying to stay sugar-free, and someone just brought in a bunch of cookies, Christmas cookies, and the whole place smells like cookies now. I want to stab her in the eye with a pen.
Do we want a rant day?
A rant day.
Do we want a rant day?
Line.
Okay.
A rant line. We could be the same number.
Yeah.
Well, no, we can. I'm sure we can figure out the difference between the Winning Wednesdays and the rant line.
Yes.
So let's try that this week. Let's have a rant line. And the rant line would be 760-946-6464. Is the phone number in the show notes? I'm sure it is.
Yes. It's toward the top of the show notes every week. So take a look at that. We do have one voicemail that we missed. I'm so sorry that we missed this voicemail last week, but we have it this week, and I'm very excited about it.
Right. John will be ready for that when it's time to go. Okay. Just so you know. All right, ready for Winning Wednesdays?
Yeah, let's go.
Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday, Winning Wednesday.
We have Don, who said he's been participating in hashtag No Sugar December challenge. So 2 weeks sugar-free. The detox has begun. Oh, the sugar detox. But Don, that's amazing.
Here's the thing. I mean, what a month to pick that.
Oh, yeah.
No sugar. I mean, with Christmas and the cookies, I mean, it is kind of, in a way, if you could do it, it's a great month.
Yeah.
Save yourself a ton of calories because there's nothing but cookies, stuff like that.
I have never, well, no, I can't say that. But when they have those month-long challenges, I think the only challenge I've participated in, I did NaNoWriMo once, and I hit my goal, and I was like, yep, done. Never going to do it again. But I've never done a month-long challenge aside from that. And I think No Sugar December is an interesting one. Maybe next year I will try that. I didn't know that was a thing. So, I mean, Sober January I could do because I don't.
We can make it no sugar anything. Yeah, we could make it no sugar January if you want.
No, John, that's just excessive. Let's just not even bring that up. I'm not ready.
Okay.
I could do Sober January, though. Sober January is the thing where nobody drinks in January. And I don't really drink anyway, so.
Oh my God, they have this thing I want to try so bad. So I'm a Jack Daniels fan. Mm-hmm. I'm a big, that's my drink of choice. That's my alcohol of choice. They have now a Jack Daniels apple that I'm dying to try, but I'm afraid because I can just see Jack Daniels apple, diet ginger ale, big tall glass of ice, one Loopy John.
Is it green apple?
I don't know. Well, the apple's green on the...
I can't do green apple alcohol. That's the one alcohol that you have that one memory of never again. Oh. Never again.
Never again.
It didn't taste that great going down. It was awful coming back up four or five times. No, never again.
All right. So Victoria says, I listened recently to a podcast by Dr. Robert, I'm going to go with Cyws? Cywes.
We will have a link in the show notes for everybody.
We will have a link in the show notes.
That's what we say when we can't pronounce something. Link in the show notes.
Here we go. Dr. Rob mentioned how important finding pleasure unrelated to food that many of us have relied upon. I have compiled a list. Singing is right up there for me, so it was nice to hear Emily agree in last week's episode. No one else will enjoy my singing, unfortunately. I'm right there with you, Victoria. No one enjoys my singing either.
Ingrid had a rough week, but she's staying on plan. That's awesome.
Marty says, still hanging in there. Keeping to my 16-8 IF 99% of the time. Not eating terrible. Hard to do when you're living out of a RV on the road. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because you always want to stop. Who wants to cook in an RV? That's a pain in the tush.
Oh, if I were in an RV, I'd be looking for all the drive-throughs that could fit my RV through it. Like,
Right. Or at least go in.
yeah.
Absolutely.
We have Dave, who is down 0.8 pounds. That's a win.
Sure
For
is.
sure.
And he bought one of those bikes, not the
Not the Peloton, but like.
not the Peloton, but he's got that bike to nowhere where he rides in his house.
Uh-huh.
So I'm sure he's in there making that go
Nice.
around and around and around. To me, the indoor bike is the hamster wheel of humans. What do I know? Same thing with the treadmill, really.
I love the treadmill, though. If I had a treadmill in the house, I would actually use it just because it's such a mindless thing for me. I could sit there, go on social media, watch movies.
Listen to podcasts.
Yeah. When I had a
Absolutely.
gym membership, that's all I would do is I would go there to use I was paying $20 a month to just use their treadmill. That was it.
Yeah. There's one right a mile from me that's $20 a month, $25 a month that I could use, and I have to soon. I couldn't before because of other issues, but now I can.
Mm-hmm.
Hannah says, I went to the gym last night for the first time in months because it was too cold to walk outside. I'm hoping to make it more of a regular habit for the rest of the year and into 2020.
That's great. I love it. You know what? We should ask our listeners to send in their goals for 2020. I would love to read those on the air. On the podcast.
On the
Yeah.
On the air.
On the air. You are on the air.
Billings, Montana. You're on the air.
Yeah. So I think in the Facebook group, I will put up a post asking for everybody's goals for 2020. Maybe I'll put that as the last Sunday goal post of the year. The Sunday goal post will be your goal for 2020, and we will read those on the show. How does that sound? Our last episode of the show.
I like it.
Which I think we actually record.
On Christmas Eve?
No, we record on the 26th, the day after Christmas, and then on January 2nd. So our last one is January 26th. That's right after Christmas. Get us your goals for 2020 by then. And I'll put up a post. You can also email us at hatetowait@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Or, well, it would be hard to call in. If you call
You
in,
can call
we'll
in,
play
yeah.
it. Yeah, you can do it all.
760-WINNING.
760 winning. Yeah, we give you all kinds of ways to contact us that you don't use.
Yeah, and that's one of the things with weight loss is as soon as you say something out loud to somebody else about your weight loss, for a long time I wouldn't tell people when I was on a diet just because I was so afraid of failing. But there's something to be said about telling somebody, all right, I'm on a diet. I want you to ask me how it's going, and having that accountability, something like that. So moving on, we have 2 more Winning Wednesdays. We have Teresa, who picked her word of the year. Ironically, it is expand and not in the physical sense. That's great. I don't know if I think I did talk about my word of the year. We did talk about that. My word of the year this year was grow, and then next year is balance, because all that growth, things are out of balance.
I forget my word of the year already. Maybe I should have wrote that down. I have to go back and listen to find out what my word of the year was. What was that? I don't know. Zoe says, or Zoe, not Zoe. Zoe says, 2.5 weeks into IF and starting to feel the benefits. Had amazing energy at Zumba tonight.
Oh, nice. Oh, when those naps in the middle of the day go away, when that feeling of just like, oh my God, I'm going to eat and now I'm going to sleep for 7 hours. When that starts going away, it's very nice. I do remember that. Not to say it's not still there. I do have more energy than somebody who doesn't drink coffee has, I believe.
Really?
What?
You save more energy than you with the tea than the coffee?
No, I mean in general with IF.
Oh,
I
okay.
feel like my energy is a lot higher with IF than it was before, and I don't even drink coffee all that often. But now I drink tea, but I don't notice the caffeine like you do.
Oh, okay. And then Eric in the chat says that Jack Daniels is her favorite drink. Just drink it on the rocks.
Speaking of singing, Erica has an amazing voice, by the way. I'm sure she's doing a lot for Christmas right now.
Really?
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yes. She has posted videos in our group of her singing, and it's amazing. It's so great. If you get a chance,
I'll have to go back and look.
Oh,
I don't remember seeing that. then again, my memory's shot.
Hey, John and Emily. Long time no talk. This is Tamara calling from Central California. So a couple of windy seats back. Me and my husband participated in a black light color run, which is made me happy because my husband usually doesn't do running events with me. Also on that Saturday, well, that was Saturday. That following Sunday, I did the Bakersfield half marathon, which was my last half marathon a year. I finished it around like 3 hours and 16 minutes, so really excited about that. I want to tell you guys to keep up with the awesome podcast, and I look forward to hearing from you guys soon. Talk to you later. Bye.
All right. So you know what that means.
Ladies and gentlemen, now is the time for the moment you have all been waiting for. It's time for the weigh-in.
You know what I was just thinking is how we've never messed up. We don't have a blooper of us saying our actual weight, but every week I have the fear that I'm going to say my number out loud. Not that it's that hard to deduce from the fact that I celebrated Wonderland and then you could do the math of just like, yeah, I'm down 3 pounds, I'm down 0, I'm up 5, I'm down 3, I'm down 2. And then this week I'm down 1. So I went, because I talked about Monday being the same, and then I stopped caring and I started focusing on how good IF makes me feel. And then boom, I'm down 1 pound again. So yay.
There you go. I don't know if it's the chili or what, but I'm flat this week.
Huh.
I didn't lose any, didn't gain any.
Well, you were down 5 last week. That was big.
Yeah, it was big. So maybe that's just a correction or whatever. And then again, remember I told you that there was a lot of calories. There was a lot of calories in my food this week.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I was working with IF, there was, I think I was eating a little. My meals were a little too big. And I was trying to move it down to just 1 meal. So I was having 2 meals. And then when I put the calories into my Fitness Pal, I was like, whoa, I didn't realize that. Wow. And, again, that I'm doing it backwards. I really should be putting the food in first and then saying, okay, that's not going to work. I'm doing things backwards. Reactive instead of proactive. Is that what you would say? Is that how it is?
Reactive, right. You're reacting to what you're putting in your body rather than being proactive and planning it out.
Right. Exactly. That's exactly what I'm doing. So I need to do a little bit more planning. And then someone in here in the chat earlier, I think it was Annette, said, if you don't plan to succeed, it's a plan not to succeed is a plan to fail. Or
yeah, if you
that.
fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Fail. Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Oh, Jennifer asks, what was the sodium in the chili? That is Wendy's chili. That's got to be a lot of sodium there.
Oh, it's probably a ton.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's probably half salt. Probably. Who knows? Because all it is they're ground up hamburgers and never. Hey, take those hamburgers, put them in the chili pile.
Honestly, more fast food restaurants, if you started offering chili, I wouldn't question it a bit. I would not care if they were your leftover burgers. Chili is so good. Leftover burger chili is amazing.
Right. Like, especially with Wendy's chili, every once in a while you get like almost like a big chunk of burger.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's almost like, that's a little nugget in there. Love that kind of stuff. All right, everyone. Well, hope your holiday eating season is going well. Hope you're handling it. I'm waiting for my daughter to call me because, one of the big things I love about Christmas is when she makes Christmas cookies. I like going over there and hanging out while they're making the cookies.
Aww.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. 2 things I love about Christmas. Going to get the tree. It's already done. And then number 2 is going over and when she makes the cookies. So hopefully that will be, and then my favorite cookie is the Snickerdoodle. Oh my God, I forgot to tell you. This might be why I'm not down. The Snickerdoodle McFlurry.
Oh my gosh, I saw that on the menu, and as soon as you said Snickerdoodle, I was like, I shouldn't tell John about that. Don't tell John about that.
Don't have to worry about that. John already knows. John knows. John's had about 3 of them so far in the past week.
Okay, I can't even judge because when I'm getting my son his chicken nuggets, because he's in the phase of just like, he just wants white foods apparently, and chicken nuggets is one of them. When I'm in line at McDonald's, I don't know what it is. I love their hot fudge sundaes. Their hot fudge is so good and I love it. So I get a hot fudge sundae every so often. And I sit there and get the sound effect ready because I finish my sundae and I go, I'm not even sorry. Nope, it was delicious.
I don't have that on here. I got to put the. I don't have it on the board.
Okay.
'Cause we're using
I
the
will
Rodecaster
happily
Pro.
say I'm not even sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the Snickerdoodle McFlurry, I think is amazing. And so I've had 3 of those. So maybe that's probably why I'm flat this week. And next week will be a little bit better. Stay away from McDonald's, number 1. I actually went in there one time just for the McFlurry. And when you go to the drive-thru and you go, can I just get the Snickerdoodle McFlurry? Like you're asking, is that okay? Can I just get that? And they're like, is that all you want? Yeah, kind of, sort of. That's all I really want. They're like, yeah, okay, you can get that.
Well, when they ask you that, it's like, oh, you're not going to judge me for that? Okay, then I'll take a small fry, medium fry, and a burger. And some
You know, I like a lot of people like to dip their fries in the ice cream. I'm not that guy.
I love it. I used to go to Wendy's. Wendy's has gotten off for me, but I used to get a flurry and I used to get fries and not a flurry, a Frosty at Wendy's.
Right.
Dipping the fries in the Frosty is so delicious.
My son does that. He gets the vanilla Frosty, dips his chicken nuggets in it. Loves it. I'm like, ugh, whatever. So, yeah. All right, everyone. If you're not a member of the group, then go to hatetowait.com/Facebook. And if you want the show notes, either there on your app. And if you can't find them, you can always go to hatetowait.com. Check them out there.
Yeah.
All right, Emily. Next week it'll be the week before Christmas.
Yep.
And looking for big things. And then everybody's going, because it's the first of the year and everybody jumps on that kick then. Everybody's going to lose weight. I'm going to lose that 10 pounds. I'm going to...
Well, I'll give you a little... this is expected every year. Our December numbers for this podcast for downloads usually drops. And then in January, whoop, they go right up.
Go up?
Yeah.
Yeah, because nobody wants to be...
We don't want to remind people that,
it's like,
listen,
listen,
you wanted to lose weight. Excuse me. Yeah.
but you can't... Yeah, you can't worry about... I mean, in other words, they want to eat. It's the eating season.
Yeah.
So then they get done with the eating season, and then they come on back, which is fine. We're here for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, but if you're here now, if you're listening to this, no matter if it's January, December, pat yourself on the back for giving yourself some accountability and getting some support, and absolutely join the Hate to Wait Facebook group because we would love to have you.
Absolutely. Yeah, gyms. I can't even get near a gym in January.
No.
Don't even start. Forget about it. You can't even get close to one. So, all right, everyone. We'll talk to you next week.
Later, waiters. Welcome to Hate to Wait, where 2 lifelong dieters
Oh,
talk
no,
about...
you'll never make it.
It's okay. I had to burp. It was okay. I was going to make it up.
You'll never make it. It's going to be one of those shows.
I had to burp. I'm sorry.
I know that. I'm not paying attention because I wasn't looking at you. I was looking at my button because I can't do. I have to look at my button when I push it. Here we go.